I don't really know how to release a new program for the Sony PlayStation Portable in 2025. There's a homebrew Discord server. There's a PSP archive on GitHub for old projects back in the day. It's got some of my programs in it. For now, the best I know is to make a video and link the source code GitHub in the description. This is a chromatic tuner for the Sony PSP called Chromatica 2025. I wrote it for the guitar, but it's suitable for any instrument that you would use a tuner for, so long as the hardware of the PSP allows. You couldn't use it to tune a bass guitar. An initial version of this, which I've never shared source code for, used KISS FFT Fast Fourier Transform library. And it was quite inaccurate. It was faster, but I ditched that and opted for a yin implementation of the yin algorithm. That's Y-I-N, the yin out of yin and yang. And it's a period function. It compares a period of one wave with previous versions, previous iterations of the wave, and determines wavelength and therefore frequency. Out of shooting this segment, I realised that the note name display needed to be as large as it possibly can be, so let's try that again. This comparison is with a Boss TU12, a pretty old chromatic tuner. It was a breakthrough in the day. Earlier on, in the earlier segment, there was a Korg TM60, but I've just narrowed that down to 2 because it's difficult to see all 3 tuners in the same shot, even with 4K video. In all 3 instances, however, all 3 tuners, including the Sony PSP, are using a microphone. So there's no direct connection to all 3 tuners, even though there can be. The PSP 3000 model has an internal microphone, and so does the PSP Go. Someone on the Discord server was kind enough to test it for me. They reported inaccuracy with all strings. There's not much I can do with that because I don't have another PSP. I suspect some differences in the sample clock accuracy, because the program's all mass, but it does require, it defines the sample rate as 44,100, and that's got to be the actual sample rate. So if there's any deviation in the clock, then some inaccuracy will occur. But that caused me to go ahead and do a debug screen with frequency that I can then compare to a tone generator on the internet. And then that's kind of limited by the laptop speakers. It can't reproduce any frequencies that are too low, but it does report a fairly accurate representation of the frequency being generated by the tone generator. It's kind of funny writing a program where no buttons do anything, so the only interface is the audio input. Holding down some buttons at startup do something, like change the display to display hertz, like you see here, but not during the program's normal running. This is the famous Korg DTR 1000 rack mount tuner. Very close with my PSP. A link to source code will be posted in the description of this video within a few days of its upload. So check back again if you're watching this early and are interested. And I will catch you in the next video.